Good evening and welcome to The Big Fight, a show that is young at 23, the oldest running debate show on Indian news television. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. You see, for many, many decades, Maharashtra has spun this theory around itself that, it's a very pragmatic brand of politics that Maharashtra has to offer, that even if something has to go wrong, it happens in a very systematic way, and even in the political dishonesty, there is great honesty. So practicality dictates their politics, and usually people stick to the formulations that they arrive at. But that myth has been broken since 2019. Right from the election in 2019 to the formation of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, the breaking away faction of the Shiv Sena, and now the breakaway faction of the NCP. That war is going on. But you see, we are not going to get into the nitty-gritties as this matter has now reached the Election Commission. We are going to talk about opposition unity. Yes, this is the nth time we are debating opposition unity, but it becomes relevant. The opposition unity next meeting was supposed to happen as early as next week. It has been postponed because of this Maharashtra storm. In a situation like this, in an opposition space where Mr. Sharad Pawar was a very key and powerful figure, does he remain that figure? Do various political parties continue with their resolve of strengthening the UPA or PDA or whatever name they are planning to call this alliance? Or is the NDA now hitting back with expanding their own alliance? How is this going to play out in 2024? So on The Big Fight, the big question that we are asking is this: can the opposition unity brave the big Maharashtra storm, or in this context, the powerful storm? Let me introduce our guests this evening. I have with me in the studio Mr. Sanjay Gupta, leader of the Shiv Sena UBT faction. Aarti Jairath is a senior journalist in the studio with us. Shaina NC, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, in the studio with us. Political analyst and researcher Manisha Priyam, thank you very much for joining us. Sanjay Singh is a senior journalist in the studio with us. Desh Ratan Nigam, an advocate in the Supreme Court and a political analyst. We also have via satellite, advocate Vijay Lakshmi, spokesperson of the NCP. We have Mr. Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Umesh Patil, the chief spokesperson of NCP, the Ajit Pawar faction. You see, so many different factions, so many more voices, which is always good, to get more and more opinion. Let's begin the show with what we call is the first punch, where each one of you get 1 minute of time for your uninterrupted 1 minute time for your opening comments. We'll begin with comments from guests outside the studio. So Charan Singh Sapra, will begin with you first. Your time starts now.
See, whatever has happened in Maharashtra, I feel it is largely because in the recent past, the BJP has seen like they have lost two continuous elections of assembly, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka. And after losing those two states, probably they have also seen the meeting of opposition parties at Patna. This has somewhere, made BJP think that they need to do something serious. And even in Karnataka election, they tried everything. They tried polarization, they tried Pakistan, they tried Basnava, they tried Bajrang Bali also, but nothing they could succeed. So on those lines, they thought, let us break Maharashtra, which is, very vital. It is having 48 seats. So let us break opposition over here in a bigger state, which might come to their advantage. But it's not going to happen. There's a different story. The people of Karnataka also gave the verdict, and similar verdict is going to come from Maharashtra, because people largely now believe that BJP depends on 3 J's. That is Jhoot, Jumla and Jugglery. And the kind of jugglery we have seen in Maharashtra since last 1 year. 1 year ago,
Okay.
1 year ago it was Eknath, Shinde and his breakaway group, and till the time they are getting settled, there's
Okay, Mr. Sapra, I'm going to have to come back to you. Your 1 minute time for your opening comment is over, and we'll go across to our other guests joining us via a live link later. But let's come back to the studio and get in some voices and opinion from the studio. So Shaina NC, will begin with you. Your opening comments.
I feel sorry for the Congress and the opposition. In a democracy, everybody wants to flourish and one is welcome to have their opinion. But the opinion and the reality is this. There is one name which has done India proud, not just in India, but even overseas, and that is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The kind of respect India has garnered as a superpower, and in the days to come, not just our economy, look at infrastructure, look at what we have done in 9 years, be it Jan Dhan, be it Mudra Banking, be it, the list is endless, Fasal Bima Yojana, Awas Yojana. The fact is, work has percolated down. Now, what have you seen as an outcome? You have seen political parties which are defunct of ideology. You talked about 2019. They fought on the name of Prime Minister Modi, came to power and formed an unholy alliance where even the late Balasaheb Thackeray and Sharad Pawar were at loggerheads. They came together. Where the Congress fitted in, only they knew. Having said that, the people of Maharashtra have rejected this. They know there is a double-engine sarkar, whether it's Eknath Phadse or Devendra Fadnavis. We have worked in tandem, worked brilliantly, and now you have this triple-engine sarkar where you have the MLAs on their own accord, unhappy with the party, unhappy with the leadership, realizing that in 2024, if they have to talk about development, the only way ahead is to join the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA and to speak progressive politics, because politics and dynamics have changed.
Sure, it's interesting how, the BJP keeps adding more and more engines, triple engine sarkar. By the way, more engines does not mean more speed. It means more capability to pull. So that is also one.
No, it is also the capability to get you on track when the whole state was off track.
For that you need Vande Bharat.
That we have.
Okay. Sanjay Gupta.
मैं यही कहूँगा कि जिन साथियों के कंधों पे चढ़कर बीजेपी आज जिस मुकाम पर पहुंची, केंद्र सरकार में आज अपनी सरकार बनाई, तो उसमें मेरे ख्याल से सबसे ज़्यादा अगर किसी ने त्याग दिया तो वो शिवसेना थी, ठाकरे परिवार था। मगर आज जिस तरह से अपने साथियों के कंधे पे चढ़कर अपने मुकाम को पाने के बाद अपने साथियों की पार्टियों को तोड़ने का काम, उन पे कब्जा करने का काम जिस तरह से बीजेपी कर रही है।
हमने तोड़ा या आपने तोड़ा? आप
हमारे कोई बात नहीं, बोलने दो, इंटरप्ट कर सकते हैं।
No, but these are allowed. This is a time for your opening comment.
तो आज आप देखिए शिवसेना, फिर उसके बाद अकाली दल पे आइए, आप चिराग पासवान के साथ भी क्या हुआ और आगे भी और अपने कुछ साथियों के साथ क्या करने जा रहे हैं। जो भी साथी इनके मन मुताबिक इनके साथ नहीं चलता, आज ये उनकी पार्टियों पर ही कब्जा करने की कोशिश करते हैं। एक समय था जब विधायकों को तोड़ा जाता था, लेकिन आज ये पार्टियां ही तोड़ देती हैं। तो पार्टियों को तोड़ने के लिए जिस तरह की पार्टियां प्रलोभन आप दे रही हैं वो ठीक नहीं है इस देश के संविधान के लिए। इसके लिए कुछ थोड़ा सा आप सोचें कि आज आपको इस चीज की जरूरत है या नहीं है।
Okay. Sanjay Singh.
See, Sanket, why we are talking about Maharashtra? Because UP at this time, nobody is talking about UP. 2019, everybody was talking about UP as to what kind of formations would be there. Of course, Samajwadi Party, Bahujan Samajwadi Party and RLD had combined there. And the challenge, there was a great deal of challenge for BJP. Was it going to fight an election for 50%? We know the results. Maharashtra is second largest party. Sharad Pawar, master strategician. And then you had a opposition meeting in Bihar. Two master strategists of opposition parties, Sharad Pawar and Nitish Kumar. Both of them, I'm sorry to say, none of them have actually delivered any time in their history as leader who can stand on their own in their own state. Forget about rest of the country. Today, a situation has arisen in Maharashtra where Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray till yesterday were supreme leaders of their party. Today at best, they are factional leaders of their party. That is irony of opposition unity. And what Praful Patel said, out of 17 parties, more than half a dozen parties had actually negligible presence in Lok Sabha. Therefore, when you analyze this thing, combined with this today's verdict of Gujarat High Court, which kind of upheld Rahul Gandhi's suspension, the situation for forthcoming elections and opposition unity becomes very tricky. In your opening remarks, you said, we don't know as to when the next opposition meeting is actually going to take place. In Patna, it was announced to be Shimla. Then it was said to be
Then it
Bangalore,
became Bengaluru,
and now
we don't know. We know the venue, but we do not know the date. That's an important point. Aarti Jairath.
So Sanket, I think
We debate opposition unity again.
once again, yes, and I hope there will be many more such debates to come till the elections happen in 2024. But I think, one thing that is definitely emerging from whatever we're seeing is that the BJP is worried about a united opposition. It's worried about it. And therefore, it is doing its best to stop this unity from happening, which is why they have broken the NCP in Maharashtra. I mean, if you had a double-engine government which was functioning so well, which is what they said, why do you need to bring in a third party into this mix and, create trouble? You know that there has been unhappiness in the Shinde faction of the Sena, with some of them threatening to go back to the old mother party and so on. So, I think, and Maharashtra is crucial. Maharashtra has 48 seats, second to UP. Maharashtra, the strong man Sharad Pawar is there. I think they are worried about him because, he may be 83, but if Amitabh Bachchan can go strong at 92, Sharad Pawar can certainly be, be counted at 83. And I think we haven't heard the end of the story in Maharashtra. Yes, today I think it has been a blow for opposition unity, what has happened in Maharashtra. But I don't think the story is over. And Sharad Pawar is known to be a very wily, shrewd politician. So I think we have to wait and see how events unfold because he is not going to go away quietly.
Yeah. By the way, Amitabh Bachchan is not 92, but let's just hope all of them become 92 and way more than that.
Yeah.
Manisha, please.
So I see it in three frames literally. The first frame is that of political narratives, and here we can see that the BJP so far had been going strong, saying that they would make a Congress Mukt Bharat, and Rahul Gandhi did not have much of a political stature. Following the Karnataka elections, when the maneuverings for this opposition unity started happening, the meetings that happened, the oath taking that happened, that seemed to begin to present some form of a narrative. There was Satpal Malik who said, no, there's if every seat one combines and one stands. So in the popular imaginary, there seemed to be something going on. People were just about looking for an answer, and soon after the Patna meeting, you see this dhamaka. So what happens therefore, that people who could have just about begun to form a political opinion now do not see this as a very viable option. Now if you bring this down to the numbers here, in Maharashtra itself, the government of Mr. Shinde and Mr. Devendra Fadnavis did not require these numbers. It was well ahead of the majority mark. And Mr. Ajit Pawar, he does not, in any case, he may have 29 or 23, I don't know what those numbers are, but they are not the 31 that makes him to the anti-defection law mark. So basically what has happened is that in Maharashtra politics itself, the whole thing now has gone back to the drawing board. Now the Pawar faction and the Pawar family will fight its own battles. The BJP is spearheaded ahead by sending back just one message, which is that, look, this opposition could be on our side, could be on their side. This opposition is a family-based necropolitics, and therefore beware whether they are with us or they are with their own
don't look at
family.
them as a viable option.
So
because
I think in terms of political,
break.
in terms of political messaging right now, I think BJP has the upper hand, even though the Maharashtra government could have done very well without the baggage of Mr. B Team Pawar on its,
Sure, we'll take that a response to that comment also in just a short moment. Deshratan Nigam.
Sanket, in fact, if you look at the entire churning which is happening prior to 2024 elections, this churning is based on one concept, expanding NDA. As rightly pointed out, that in Maharashtra, BJP did not need anybody else. They had the numbers. But this is about 2024 Lok Sabha elections, increasing the voter base. And why do you have to blame BJP? If somebody wants to come with their own voter base to the BJP, jumping ship, because they know they don't have a future. Ajit Pawar thought he didn't have a future because there was somebody else within a family which was being hoisted there. Therefore, you will see lot of people trying to jump in all these family-based parties where they have reached a level, beyond that they cannot do anything. But once you come here with your vote base and try to prove your credentials, possibly you can have a serious rise within the party and in terms of, political aspirations.
Okay. Advocate Vijay Lakshmi is also now with us, spokesperson of the NCP. Yes, Advocate Vijay Lakshmi. If you want, I can repeat the question that we are asking. Can opposition unity brave the Maharashtra storm?
Of course, see, let me begin by saying, and I cannot stress enough on the fact that opposition forms the basis of our parliamentary processes. Now, it is as important as our ruling party. So the importance of opposition parties cannot be undermined at any stage. And somehow what is happening in the current scenario, wherein, like one of the panelists said, that earlier the members were broken, but now the party is being broken. Now, this somehow is an extremely dangerous threat. And as far as the split in our party which is concerned, I do not think so in any case it is going to affect the entire game of opposition parties in India. Because as far as the NCP faction of Mr. Sharad Pawar Sahib is concerned, we are where our Sharad Pawar Sahib is, and Sharad Pawar Sahib has again retaliated and has gone back to his people, is urging his voters, and we are where he is. And this is how I see this entire game of the opposition politics.
Okay, let's now bring the discussion back to the studio. And Shaina NC, you see, through the course of the last week, this is a point that has come in various discussions, and the point is the BJP's double standards, for lack of a better phrase, in deciding who is good enough to do business with and who isn't. For instance, of the 9 MLAs of the NCP who have now been inducted as ministers in the Eknath Shinde cabinet, many of your leaders have personally attacked them of being corrupt, from Hassan Mushrif to Chhagan Bhujbal, and even Mr. Praful Patel, who is not sworn in as a minister but is part of this new alliance.
May I please respond to a lot of the allegations first?
One by one.
Constantly saying that the BJP broke a party. We have not broken any party. When Eknath Shinde chose to leave the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena at the given time, what were the reasons? The reasons were the ideological differences, probably the inaccessibility of the leadership. These are questions which would be answered by them. They came with the number, there is constitutional provision, we form government. Now coming to Ajit Pawar ji, clearly what happened in Patna was an eye-opener for the NCP itself, which didn't want to be part of this so-called opposition unity, which had nobody talking and no vision plan. Don't forget 2024, even them as MLAs go to the voter. What are they going to say? As mass leaders of individual areas, they too need to be accountable to their leadership as well as their voter. So now if the leadership and they have differences and they choose to pull out and join the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's not the BJP breaking them. And I think this is an interesting format because the popularity of the Prime Minister is at an all-time high, and the reason why so many party leaders are joining us.
I knew what you would say, which is why I asked the next logical question.
So I will answer the next
How
question.
is this,
too.
and you know, this washing machine allegation.
I knew this is the most lame excuse. The ED and the CBI are independent agencies. Process of law will continue on all cases. We are not here to absolve, insulate or sit on judgment.
You will continue to believe that these leaders are corrupt.
Not you or us can sit on judgment. We are here to work for the development of Maharashtra and the people of Maharashtra, and that's the only agenda. People wanted stability, they wanted good governance, they wanted good leadership, and they wanted Maharashtra back on track.
And
that is exactly what we are working towards.
Prime Minister downwards, there have been comments after comments about NCP leaders being corrupt.
There have been multiple comments about the Congress on the Shiv Sena, the NCP on the Shiv Sena, and vice versa, and going back and forth. We're not in that spardha. Prime Minister Modi has clearly said he is a Pradhan Sevak. Devendra Fadnavis has proven his credibility as an able administrator, and we will continue to work for the people of Maharashtra.
So you will continue to believe that the allegations...
We will not sit on judgment. Let the matters which are
sitting in judgment
produced
about
in a
Hassan
court of
Mushrif, Chhagan Bhujbal, Praful Patel. Now are we to believe that the BJP continues to believe that these leaders are corrupt?
Look, you can turn the question around 10 times over because that is the only argument you have. We have not broken any political party. We have not broken any political party, and we are very clear. Let matters that are decided in a court of law be based on evidence.
Let the court decide. Okay. Yes. By the way, the court will respond to the sort of evidence presented by the agencies. So this will be more of a function of how the agencies find them guilty or how they investigate.
You've sat on judgment here.
By the as a political party, naming these individuals.
No less than the Prime Minister himself. So just a week before the split happened, the Prime Minister called them corrupt.
It's a weaker argument. So basically, the big thing that still remains with the BJP is that the central government or the Prime Minister himself are not seen as tainted, as they were in the case of the UPA that this government replaced. But as far as this joining of Ajit Pawar faction is concerned, there's no doubt in the public mind. Remember, the public doesn't go through reams of ED or CBI files. We were told by our, look, just one second, political parties inform citizenry. I didn't know there is a, who knows sitting in Delhi where there is an irrigation scam, or political parties informed us, conscientized us.
Let the people of Maharashtra decide.
No, one second.
Let
now
the voter decide.
We were told by political parties. We believe the political parties. One second. I am not a political party. Look, we are conscientized. Political parties have a very important role in citizen consciousness gaining. Who gave us the understanding of the coal scam? Who gave us the understanding of the irrigation scam? We didn't go studying PhD books there. Now, once the conscientization process has happened, when the public sees a U-turn, public will not say much, but it will find it to be a grey chapter.
Okay, grey chapter.
We can't be blamed for,
is this really going to click in 2024 when the opposition makes its argument? Aarti Jairath, see, the point is, right now you speak to anyone in the opposition space, they say, look there, these are their maneuvers, this is what they do, they use agencies, they victimize people, they say something, and then people eventually join them and they become squeaky clean. Now that's an allegation we've heard from the opposition for a long time. In this case also we've heard the same thing. Is this going to work with the people?
So, I mean, I think this allegation is beginning to stick more and more because it's happening across states. But I don't think this is necessarily going to be the basis on which people are going to decide who they want to vote for. I think people make very, very personal choices when it comes to voting. They are looking at their own future, which party or which side can actually offer them a better life. And you know, this is where actually the opposition is right now on a weak footing because it doesn't have a coherent narrative. You know, the BJP has its Shining India narrative, you know, with all these, you know, Vande Bharat trains and highways and this and that. I mean, it is so reminiscent of 2004 Shining India. But at least in 2004, the opposition had a narrative about Aam Aadmi ke saath, you know, Congress ka haath. Today, the opposition needs to get that narrative. Otherwise, you know, the BJP runs away with it.
So do you feel that what has happened in Maharashtra is an attempt to nip that narrative in the bud?
Yes. Definitely, they have spread confusion in the ranks of the opposition. And, you know, to some extent today, Sharad Pawar does look weak. So, you know, he has to right himself. You know, we'll have to see the next chapter of this episode unfold. As I said, I don't think this episode has reached its end yet.
It has not reached its end. Many more big fights
but people will
on
not,
this chapter.
But people will not vote because they perceive the BJP as a washing machine or whatever. I think that, you know, decision,
Charan Singh Sapra, would you like to weigh in here? Aarti Jairath and a lot of people over here in the studio feel that perhaps the NDA or the BJP specifically saw what was happening in the opposition space, and before you could position yourself as a formidable player ahead of 2024, it was nipped in the bud.
Whatever BJP has done, it is unethical. And let me now, I have 3-4 things to answer. Like Shaina was talking that BJP has not split anybody. I would like to remind her and all your viewers that when Shinde got separated from Uddhav Thackeray, it was the BJP MLAs who were accompanying Shinde's group. It was BJP couple of ministers who were accompanying to Surat, and from Surat to Guwahati, I can name them also. So it was definitely engineered by BJP that time also. And even today, The script is written by Shah and Tanasha. The script of Ajit Pawar and NCP is written by Shah and Tanasha. If China NC doesn't want to believe, they don't believe, but people of Maharashtra are believing this only. Number two, some of the panelists also said that opposition is become weak or opposition is fragmented. I don't think so that's happening in Maharashtra. See, you saw it in Karnataka. People have not voted for BJP. Similar thing is going to happen here. I'll give you one instance. Why, if BJP is so strong in Maharashtra, why they are not conducting the municipal corporation elections over here? Municipal corporation, around 12 municipal corporations and 15 municipal council elections are pending since 1.5 years. Why are they not conducting that if they are so strong? And if China is saying that they are trying to bring Maharashtra on the track, was it off track? Was it off track when double engine was working? So you needed a third engine of Ajit Pawar to bring it on track. So these are the things which people of Maharashtra are understanding. Thirdly, like now Shining India thing was just mentioned over here. I would like to remind you and your viewers that in 2004 also, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a bigger face than even Narendra Modi. And Shining India campaign was a very vast and very highly,
Mr. Sapra, these situations are very different from 2004, don't you think?
Just 10 seconds. Similar thing is going to happen now. We defeated Atal Bihari Vajpayee. There were some pre-poll alliances, there were some post-poll alliances. Same situation is going to come in 2024. There will be pre-poll alliances as well as post-poll alliances. And this Shining India campaign is not going to stay. And we won 140 seats under the leadership of Srimati Sonia Gandhi. And we gave Dr. Manmohan Singh as the Prime Minister, who was a comfortable...
No, but then a lot of water has flown under that bridge. There was a 2009 where you were even more powerful than 2004. Yeah. And then there was a 2014 where you were reduced to below 50. And then a 2019 where you were just above 50. So you see what you're saying about 2004. A lot has happened since then. My question is that do you think that this was an attempt, as being mentioned over here rather successfully by the BJP, of nipping opposition unity in the bud?
No, but lot many things have happened here also. The way they have broken Karnataka, they broke Madhya Pradesh, they broke earlier Goa, Manipur. People of India are watching all this. That's why people have not opted for BJP in Karnataka. Same is going to happen in Maharashtra. Let them conduct the
so people will decide. I think that's a significant point. One by one, let's come back to the studio.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And then, yeah.
This is exactly what I'm saying. People will decide. It is the people of India that will decide. And in 2024, we'll be debating on your debate again. And we'll go into all the reasons why Prime Minister Modi has got a historic mandate. The transparency, the accountability, the development, no Jat Paat Dharm ki Rajniti. Look at UP as a case study. Nobody seems to be discussing that election after election, we keep winning in the largest state against all odds. What is that testimony of? And if every time an MLA or an MP or leaders from one party choose to absorb or join the BJP because they believe in the ideology and the philosophy of the Prime Minister, are you always going to say that the BJP has, broken this party? There are many more to follow. There will be many more in the days to come. This is an active year and this is politics.
Deshatanagam, do you think
as long as it's constitutional, why oppose?
Proof of the pudding will be in its eating, and the test of what each party is claiming will be in an electoral contest. Eventually, that will be the big test. See, the free boards in 2023 in the 3 states and then board exams in 24.
See, if you talk to the opposition leaders in private, and this I am saying with a very great sense of responsibility, they all acknowledge the speed and scale of development. Most of the opposition people. However, they would not like to acknowledge on camera, which is understandable because of the politics they indulge in. So the election will be based on development, no doubt, and BJP has enough to showcase its development. You travel outside Delhi, you see the highways, you see the airports, you see the railways, you see the immense amount of schemes which have actually been delivered, not made, but delivered. That is their strength. And plus, if you have the icing on the cake in terms of Ajit Pawar and everybody coming in, on their own, it's not the BJP. Remember, BJP in Maharashtra did not need their support to continue the government. But
I'll tell you how you need their support, by the way. For the Maharashtra Assembly, maybe this is extra padding, But for 2024 in Maharashtra,
Therefore,
there were many surveys done in Maharashtra
Therefore-
that showed that Shinde and BJP combined may not be doing as well.
I was coming to
in
that. I
24.
was coming to that. I said, so far as there, in terms of assembly, they did not require.
Yeah.
However, as I said, BJP is expanding its base and the NDA. You will find probably Shiromani Akali Dal, the talks are going on, they may also join back. Chirag Paswan may join back. These people will, and imagine the amount of base which will be expanded. So they are working on that strategy and fragmented opposition.
And why was the need felt by the BJP to expand the NDA just ahead of elections? Was it opposition unity?
No, opposition.
Was this a sort of
no, opposition unity.
An alarm bell, maybe.
See, we have discussed nth time opposition unity, and I have seen nth meetings of the opposition unity also, from Kolkata to Delhi to Bangalore to different places. So there had been nth meetings also. So there are so many inherent contradictions and so many self aspirations where everybody wants to top each other. So that unity cannot be a genuine unity. So that's one very important factor. You have to keep it in mind. Nitish Kumar would like to become a prime minister. You think Sharad Pawar will be
by that logic, everybody wants to become prime minister.
So
everybody has aspiration. My point is, why do you feel the need?
Why was BJP so
BJP
worried
is not
about
worried.
this?
BJP is
But
going
I
for
want to
350
burst
plus.
this- I want to
350
burst this
Just hold on,
development bubble a
Please
bit.
don't
Yeah.
interrupt. Don't interrupt. You will
I'll come back.
We've got a lot of time, huh? We've got less time.
I'll come to you. Aarti Jarat, I'll come.
Sanket is controlling the debate.
Yes,
not me.
please conclude.
So the fact remains, BJP's individual target, to the best of my understanding, I am not an official spokesperson for the BJP, they are targeting minimum 350 seats on their own, plus NDAs. This is the minimum that, and for that you need a base. And that will also improve their Rajya Sabha standing for bills to go. Please remember, so these are the calculations which go very deep.
Yeah.
But I just want to burst this
Aarti-
development
yeah,
bubble a little
sure.
bit, Sanket, sorry. Karnataka, under the BJP actually, the last 5 years, emerged as with the third highest GDP in the country. There were highways, the economy seemed to be doing well and so on. And yet the BJP lost the election. And why? Because the poor shifted back to the Congress. Obviously the poor did not feel part of this great development that
story
was happening in Karnataka, and that's why they opted for another. So I think that yes, there is development happening. The question is, how inclusive is it? How much do people feel involved? You may say it's inclusive, but do people actually feel they are part of this development story? In Karnataka, they clearly didn't.
But you see,
delivery
Karnataka,
shows.
one more.
Karnataka third highest GDP
Yes,
in the
of
last
course,
5
of course.
years.
Karnataka had a very strong alternative, right? You had a
Yes,
strong
yes,
leadership
yes,
of
of
the
course.
Congress, a strong
Absolutely.
base of the Congress party, and these two powerful leaders,
Yes.
right? They led the campaign.
Yes.
It had very little to do with perhaps central leadership of the Congress.
Absolutely.
But at the center, an opposition unity will need that big political glue
Yes.
to get everyone together.
And
do you
to
think
have a narrative.
Yeah, and a
which
narrative.
actually they did have in Karnataka.
Yes. Sanjay
But
Singh, do you feel
that
that-
I think
Jump
is a
the
critical
queue?
thing.
Sorry?
You want to jump the queue and not give me a chance to speak?
I'll come back to you, ma'am. He's been
I'm
waiting.
not speaking. I'm going to keep quiet now.
No, I will come back to you. Mr. Sanjay Singh has been waiting for a while.
Sure.
I'll come back to you. Yes.
See, Sanket, we should segregate state assembly elections and parliamentary elections, two different elections. If you go by the history and also at any point in time, till 2014, even parliamentary elections was called aggregate of assembly election or state elections. 2014, situation changed. It became a national election as it should have been. If you go by the state election, 2019 there was Congress JDS government in Karnataka. They also fought parliamentary elections together. The result was 25 BJP out of 28 seats, right? You also had a grand alliance in UP, which I talked about. Subsequent to that, if you've seen in Karnataka, in Kashmir local bodies election, unthinkable thing has happened. NC and PDP and other parties came together. Even then they could not sweep the polls. So elections are also about sentiment. Now about 2014, 2019 and India shining of 2004. Aarti made a very good point about Karnataka being number 3 on the GDP yet losing elections. Politics and elections, going to elections is about the perception of delivery. The macroeconomic picture actually does not relate to microeconomic pictures. On microeconomic picture, also in terms of delivery, Modi stands out vis-a-vis the leaders in opposition space. And therefore, when I say that Patna was not the best place in terms to showcase the governance model or opposition unity model, with Lalu and Nitish Kumar being out there, because Bihar since independence has been governed by either by Congress or by factions of Janata Party, which are now RJD and JDU. So you did not actually have something to represent in terms of symbolism of governance and political personas to say maybe they are big leaders. Translate this into Modi's charisma in terms of outreach. I've seen on the ground how people actually feel about and think about Modi in terms of delivery. Now, with no face in opposition, the opposition unity before that meeting happened in Patna, you saw various kinds of schisms and various kinds of voices emanating from there. And post Patna, those voices, Mamata Banerjee saying something, even RJD
It's
and
interesting that you mentioned
JDU
this because in the Bihar coalition for a very long time, the BJP has been part of the government.
Yes, the BJP,
and I'm talking about post 2014
yes,
also.
BJP was part of the government. BJP was playing second fiddle. But BJP is not part
But
of
then this is the whole claim of double engine, no? So an engine was always aligned.
That double engine actually did not work. In fact, if you have seen the large number of
your engine did not work.
Just let me explain.
Yeah.
There was large number of people who actually never show me one picture, one situation where Nitish Kumar came to Delhi. All chief ministers of opposition parties come to Delhi to meet Prime Minister, Home Minister and talk about developmental budget. Nitish Kumar never came to Delhi to talk about developmental budget. It was something else which was making them align in Patna, for which BJP paid a very heavy price.
Manisha Priya.
So, when this model, let me begin with the counterfactual, that suppose this opposition unity model has to work for a change at the center. What things have to be done? Now, if you see here, the most heavyweight leaders who have performed in elections and won, Mamata Banerjee, for example, by this opposition unity also, she will be pushing below her weight and punching only within the state of West Bengal. However fond she is of Akhilesh, and however much the strong bonds between a few leaders in West Bengal and the Samajwadi Party exists, and she goes to Banaras and addresses a rally, how many seats can she go and make electoral speeches in Uttar Pradesh and make a change there? Now, similarly, one hears that there are other leaders of the Congress who are doing very well. Now, the whole grand plan can only work if the Congress will win all the 3 states that are going to go to elections now. And the one big chink in the armor is that in Uttar Pradesh, if Akhilesh is going to keep performing below his weight, how is the opposition unity going to affect? So there are many severe caveats here. One is that many of your face-wise, chehra-wise big leaders are actually performing within small arenas. The second big factor is that the Uttar Pradesh basket, there you find that your key node, key kadi, he is not even being spoken about, is performing well below what could be a par performance. So therefore, if the opposition is going to keep on playing the state election game, and Mr. Modi is going to talk about his performance, whether it be in the global arena, whether it's going to be the G20 or the US or anything else that's going to be rolled out, and the domestic performance of his ministries, then how do you think that a man and his party fighting the national election is in any way comparable with a bunch of very stalwart chief ministers and other tall reputed
with
leaders?
Very restricted mandates.
They are fighting a different battle. Now, can you see a Sharad Pawar going and campaigning in Bihar? So what do you see? The last point here is that there was some chance when Kharge started talking about the caste census, and Rahul Gandhi and Kharge and Nitish also met together. Now, while this unity has happened, somehow I thought maybe they will talk big on this caste agenda, that the Mandalites are. I don't find that also happening. So I neither find them expanding beyond their territory. Biju Patnaik doesn't even meet Nitish Kumar. Many people told me that there are old friendships there, and they were together here, in the South and North block, serving the government together as eminent ministers. I don't see that side of the Janata Party meeting this side of the erstwhile Janata Party. So unless I see a bigger picture, I see two elections happening. The one change that I see on the BJP side though is that when the Prime Minister will go and campaign in Maharashtra, I will see an Ajit Dada Pawar sitting at the back of his stage, and I find that somewhat discomforting.
Why? Why do you say
because of the fact that the BJP that I or many other citizens of India believed in the last two elections was a BJP, the then Devendra Fadnavis and the Prime Minister campaigning has on many occasions told the citizens directly that watch out, here are the family-based Bhraштachari parties. So I will get as a citizen somewhat confused as to what's happening in the background
Before you
here.
respond, I'll come to you. You can respond on this because again, this again hints to that very same washing machine charge.
It's a difficult question to answer.
Difficult question to answer. You
No,
believe?
I'm only a citizen.
You
I
agree
have
that this is a
nothing
difficult
to-
question to
Yes.
answer?
I have no
Yes,
laundromats to serve.
Yeah.
I'm a citizen. Only.
Exactly.
But permutation and combinations in politics, which are constitutionally permissible, is being utilized by all the parties.
जी, संजय गुप्ता जी.
साइना एनसी जी ने कहा कि शिंदे जी को इन्होंने नहीं तोड़ा, वो अपने आप हमारे पास आए, और इन्होंने कहा कि हम केंद्रीय एजेंसियों का इस्तेमाल नहीं करते। तो शिंदे जी के साथ हमारे जो 40 विधायक गए थे वो बीजेपी शासित प्रदेश गुजरात में ही क्यों गए? ऐसी कौन सी बात थी कि वो कहीं और दूसरी स्टेट में नहीं गए, पश्चिम बंगाल में नहीं गए? फिर वहाँ से उनको जो शिफ्ट किया गया असम में, गुवाहाटी में, तो वो भी बीजेपी शासित प्रदेश था। तो क्या इससे ये पता नहीं चलता कि आप बिल्कुल उसके पीछे हैं और आप ही सब कुछ कर रहे हैं?
आप
और
जब
फिर आप ये कहती
postmortem
हैं,
कर रहे हैं सर,
और फिर आप ये
जब आप
कहती हैं,
पोस्टमार्टम कर रहे हैं पहले तो सोचिए कि वो निकले क्यों आपके दल
वो
से।
एक अलग चीज है,
वो आप आत्म परीक्षा कीजिए
वो एक
तो
अलग
आपको
चीज है।
पता चलेगा।
और दूसरा आप
कि
ये
हमें
कहते हैं,
सुरक्षा क्यों
उस पे तो
देना
आप बोल
पड़ा।
दिया।
हमें
दूसरा
सुरक्षा क्यों देना पड़ा और
दूसरा
वो क्यों निकले, उसके ऊपर आप इंट्रोस्पेक्शन कीजिएगा।
वो भी करेंगे,
उसके
उस
बारे
पे
में आप
आते हैं
कुछ
अभी।
नहीं बोलेंगे। 2019 में आप खड़े थे मंडप पे हमारे साथ
वो
और
दर्द था
भाग गए
आपको,
2 लवर्स के
तभी
साथ।
तो आपने सब किया। वो दर्द अगर 2019 का नहीं होता तो आप ये सब नहीं करते।
2019 में आप लड़े मोदी जी के नाम पे या नहीं, आप हमें बताएं।
नहीं,
आप
शिवसेना
जीते
हमेशा बाला
किसके
साहब के
नाम
नाम पे लड़ती है, मोदी जी
अरे
के नाम पे
चलिए,
नहीं लड़ती है।
चलिए
बाला साहब का
आपको-
नाम मोदी जी से ज्यादा है।
आप वो उलझन में
ये-
रहिए।
और
आप वो
दूसरा,
उलझन में
जो आप
रहिए
केंद्रीय एजेंसी की
और
बात करती
ऐसे ही
हैं,
सोचिए कि जो काम आप
अब आप
करते हैं
केंद्रीय
वो
एजेंसी
सही,
पे और
जो
आइए।
काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी
अब आप
करती वो
केंद्रीय
गलत।
एजेंसी पे और आइए, केंद्रीय एजेंसी पे और मैं आना चाहता हूं कि मुझे आप ये बताइए कि महाराष्ट्र के मिनिस्टर्स हों या दिल्ली के मिनिस्टर्स हों, ऐसी कौन सी जरूरत है कि उनको आप 6-6 महीने 1-1 साल जेल में रखते हैं? क्या वो इस देश को छोड़ के भाग जाएंगे जबकि उनके खिलाफ आपकी एजेंसियों के पास कोई प्रूफ नहीं है?
Okay, quick response.
अरे भाई कोर्ट
देखिए,
से
जब
पूछिए,
कोर्ट में
बीजेपी
कोई
से नहीं
कोर्ट
कोई
पूछिए।
प्रूफ
पूछिए,
नहीं है।
आप भारतीय
संजय
जनता
राउत जी
पार्टी
को
को क्यों पूछ
ये
रहे हैं
कहकर के
जब
बेल
कोर्ट
दी
ने
अदालत
तय
ने
किया?
कि उनके खिलाफ कोई सबूत नहीं मिला, कोई
देखिए,
सबूत नहीं
जब
उनके खिलाफ,
कोर्ट-
और एक
one
बेसलेस
minute,
केस
okay,
बनाया गया।
one by one.
तब
One by one.
बेसलेस।
संजय जी,
you
आपकी
know,
बात सुन ली, एक जवाब लेने के लिए।
Clearly, they have a muddled up narrative. Why, Sanket, did the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Shiv Sena fight
शक के आधार
2019
पर।
together
शक के
on the
आधार पर
face
जेल
of
में
Prime
रखा हुआ है आप
Minister
लोगों ने।
Modi, and then
कि
they
शक है।
suddenly
Okay.
decided to go in an unholy
Okay.
nexus
ये
of the
Okay,
government
Umesh,
power.
Umesh
They keep
Patil,
questioning about these
advocate,
court
let's
decisions.
go to
Don't complicate
just
that with
because some of our
political
guests are not
decisions.
here, we should not be unfair to them also. We've got Charan Singh Sapra, Advocate Vijay Lakshmi and Umesh Patil also with us. Umesh Patil, I want to come to you now. You see, repeatedly, the one thing that is being said over here is this. When Mr. Ajit Pawar will now be seen seated on an election stage with Narendra Modi, Devendra Fadnavis, it will create an image for the Bharatiya Janata Party that up until this moment, you were calling these very people corrupt. And now they are a part of your enterprise, if you were.
देखिए हमारी जो व्यवस्था है जिसमें अलग अलग पार्टियां काम करती है, कभी वो अलायंस में होती है, कभी वो एक दूसरे के खिलाफ होती है। जब हम एक दूसरे के खिलाफ होते हैं तब एक दूसरे की कमियां ढूंढते हैं और उस पे हम जो है वो टीका टिप्पणी करते हैं।
ये तो उमेश जी
वो
आपने
जो है अभी
in a very innocent way you are
नहीं,
basically
ऐसे
saying
ही
that
है।
I am open to changing my opinion based on which side of
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
political
मैं-
divide I am on.
देखिए ये पूरा कैसा है, हम पब्लिक को जो है ना उल्लू नहीं बना सकते हैं। जो है पब्लिक के सामने है। अगर समर्थन भी करेंगे तो पब्लिक अपने तरफ से अपना दिमाग चलाती है और वो अपनी सोच रखती है। अगर हम किसी पार्टी का एज अ स्पोक्स पर्सन बैठे हैं, इसका मतलब हम पब्लिक के लिए ही बैठे हैं ना, उनका परसेप्शन जो है वो ज्यादा मायने रखता है, हम क्या बात करें आपस में, ये ज्यादा मायने रखता है। ना अजित पवार जी के ऊपर, ना किसी के ऊपर जो भी आरोप लगाए गए, ना किसी न्यायालय में, ना किसी इंक्वायरी में वो प्रूव नहीं हो पाए हैं, आज तक नहीं हो पाए। ये आप ये भी ध्यान में रखिए। लेकिन ये जो होता है,
आपको नहीं लगता है कि अब तक आप खुद अजीत पवार को डिफेंड करते थे जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता के बाद नेता उनको भ्रष्ट कहते थे, उनको करप्ट कहते थे, इतने सारे लोग जो कि
सिर्फ नेता को नहीं, सिर्फ नेता को नहीं, पूरे पार्टी को ही भ्रष्ट करते थे, राष्ट्रवादी पार्टी को नेचुरल करप्ट पार्टी कहते थे। ये बात, इसको कोई नकारा नहीं जा सकता, आपके पास रिकॉर्ड होगा उसका। सुनिए, मेरी बात पूरी होने दीजिए। बात यह है कि अभी हम क्यों आए हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ, ये डिसीजन लिया। कल अजित पवार जी ने, उनके सभी हमारे लीडर लोगों ने, प्रफुल्ल पटेल जी के साथ पूरे सीनियर लीडर्स ने, पार्टी के मेजोरिटी ऑफ द जो चुन के आए हुए लोग हैं, विधायक हैं,
ये क्यों लिया? क्योंकि अभी कांग्रेस से पूछेंगे या शरद पवार से पूछेंगे, उनका ये कहना है कि आप बचना चाहते थे।
बात पूरी नहीं, बात यह है कि अभी आपने देखा, अभी आप अगर पूरे देश का सिनेरियो एक सामने रखेंगे तो क्या दिख रहा है आपको? नरेंद्र जी मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एक ही नेतृत्व के पीछे है, और वही एक चेहरा है देश को आगे ले जाने के लिए, या अगले प्राइम मिनिस्टर के लिए। अभी दूसरे गुट की ओर देखिए, वहां पूरे अलग अलग स्टेट के अलग अलग लीडर है, लगभग 17 से 20 तक वो वहां पे लीडर है। आज तक उनमें, अभी एक साल में इलेक्शन आ गया है, आज तक उन 17 लोगों में कौन लीड करेगा, ये सब पूरे अपोजिट गुट को ये डिसाइड नहीं कर पाए। जब इनकी मीटिंग होती है, मीटिंग होने के बाद दूसरे ही दिन एक दूसरे के खिलाफ वो स्टेटमेंट देना शुरू कर देते हैं। अगर ये लोग, अगर देश के सभी इकट्ठा होकर सत्ता में आते भी हैं तो कैसे देश चलेगा? इनका आज एक मत नहीं हो रहा है, सत्ता में नहीं है।
चरण सिंह सापरा, हाउ डू यू रिस्पॉन्ड?
के बाद क्या पोजीशन रहेगी?
मिस्टर सापरा एंड एडवोकेट विजय लक्ष्मी,
पूरे देश की क्या परिस्थिति हो जाएगी?
Yes, Umesh ji, we have heard what you had to say. We have heard what you had to say. Different people can make, or extract different meanings from what you have said. However, Charan Singh Sapra, do you think this is a very politically pragmatic view that Mr. Umesh Patil has exhibited on this program? वो जीत रहे हैं इस वजह से।
I am amused the way Mr. Patil has explained. He has tried to define, give the definition of Paltu Ram and Ayaram and Gaya Ram in a very simple way. He has tried to say. I appreciate that.
आयाराम, मुझे अभी बात करने दीजिए, 2 मिनट में मैं बात खत्म करता हूँ। आप बहुत देर से सुन रहा हूँ, मुझे बताइए नीतीश कुमार किसके साथ थे?
अगर आप ऐसे करेंगे तो
जेंटलमैन वन बाय वन प्लीज।
ये ऐसे नहीं होता है। ये अच्छे चैनल की डिबेट है।
नहीं, ठीक है,
अच्छे चैनल की डिबेट है, इसमें शांत रहिए।
सही समझा,
शांत रहिए, गुस्से में मत आइए ना भाई। आयाराम गयाराम और पलटूराम बोलने से नाराज
आपको कुछ मुद्दे
डिफाइन ना। आई नेवर ट्राई टू डिफाइन दैट. You define that. See, as far as the corruption charges on Ajit Pawar, Hassan Mushrif, Chhagan Bhujbal, everybody knows about that. And how can BJP hide from all these things? That they are not protecting the corrupt people.
With them it was okay, huh?
Say कि हम भ्रष्टाचार से लड़ेंगे।
आप में से तो निकले हुए हैं।
Please don't interrupt.
Okay, one by your own admission, this is an अच्छे channel की debate.
आपके साथ one by one. लालू प्रसाद यादव जी,
I'll come to you. One by चरण सिंह सापरा,
Mr. Sapra के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ।
What is the guarantee? What is the guarantee? Hemanta Biswa, you were saying he's a pani chor. BJP only said he's the chief minister. Suvendu Adhikari, Suvendu Bhag. He's the leader of opposition. Narayan Rane, he was corrupt. As per BJP, he's the central minister. So how can BJP say that they will not be taking, they will be taking action on all these people? Talk about Pratap Sarnaik, talk about that Gavli madam, talk about Yamini from Mumbai, and then you talk about Ajit Pawar, Hassan Mushrif.
There is this
Advocate Vijay Lakshmi's response.
Yes.
So
all of this is so very amusing. All this is so very amusing. Now what has happened is BJP has it is an undeniable and irrefutable fact that BJP has indulged into politics wherein they have arm-twisted people into falling into line, falling into their way of thinking and everything. And in the current scenario, they have arm-twisted the concoction of the Maharashtra state politics. And now, let me finish. Let me finish now. And now everybody, both the factions, like be it the Ajit Pawar-led faction or the BJP, they are going leaps and bounds and making an absolutely desperate attempt trying to justify. They are trying desperately trying to justify these actions. Ajit Pawar trying Ajit Pawar trying to justify why he left, and on one hand, and BJP trying to justify why they even let them inside with them. So it has become an absolutely embarrassing right now.
Okay, I've run out of time.
Now is BJP completely
one by one. Well, let's come back to
BJP absolutely breadth of ideology now.
Who said that they joined the BJP because the BJP was the winner? That's why. Sorry, nothing to do with ideology. Nothing to do with ideology.
That is a compliment to us.
Would you admire his honesty? Will you admire his honesty? Okay. So panelists here admire.
That's a compliment to us. That's a compliment to the Prime Minister. That's a clear compliment to the Prime Minister.
ऐसा कौन सा चुंबक है? There's no ideological pull, and I mean people are just looking at
whatever alliances.
Let me give the last word, 10-second closing comment by Deshatran, Manisha Prem and Sanjay Singh. One by one, please.
I think
10 seconds.
One should not read too much into who's broken whom. The fact remains that everybody is trying to increase their voter base, and as I said, those permutations, combinations are perfectly
being tried everywhere.
Everywhere.
The opposition is also
and 2024 elections, you will see so many things happening. Maybe one or two.
But as Manisha ji said, it looks like an unfair comparison. I mean, at a central level, it looks very difficult.
So I'm going to say two things. One, whatever has happened in Maharashtra, look, in the eye of the people now, the Maharashtra Assembly has gone back to the drawing board. It's now something that will be tested at the hustings in 2024 and thereafter when the state elections happen. Now the electorate therefore is hearing every debate with a lot of cautious hearing. Which side is saying what about whom, which are the people who are coming on board with whom. Now the image of one of those who's been called a Bhrashtachari at the back of that, certainly around the elections they will have to rethink as to who is their partner in power and who will be their star campaigners who will be allowed on the stage. So these will be two distinct lists. Now that is on a lighter side, but the important part is that the messaging will have to be very strong, the messaging will have to be very clear, and the messaging will have to be free of the taints of corruption. Remember, both governments of the BJP have come back on a massive trust of the people. That trust has kept increasing, and therefore it will be that much more the responsibility of the BJP to keep up to the faith the people of India have reposed in them.
Last word.
See, Sanket, for regional parties, corruption actually do not matter to their support base. And therefore, you see these numbers, NCP being brought in or NCP coming to BJP's fold, that local level leaders will explain that. For national elections, credibility of the leader of the poll alliances, Narendra Modi in this particular case, or whosoever is going to be opposition face. Remember in 2009, Manmohan Singh, more than Sonia Gandhi, Manmohan Singh's credibility worked for Congress. The numbers you were talking about, the numbers which increased vis-a-vis number of BJP. In 2004, the Signing India campaign flopped because people on the ground did not see India signing, and therefore that was a wrong campaign for the BJP. This time around,
so marketing alone will not work.
Yes.
Numbers game will not work. Ultimately, you've got people have to agree to the perception that you want.
And finally, Sanket,
and do you think you won that perception game?
My compliment to NCP spokesperson for being so forthright, which you rarely or perhaps never see.
But I will say one thing, that Shaina, sorry, I don't think any political party should be so arrogant that it counts its chickens before they're hatched. All right. So to say before the election that we have won the perception game, I think that will be decided at the hustings in 2024 by the voters,
Yes.
not by what you say in
in
the
an अच्छे
studio.
channel की debate we are,
अच्छे channel
we
पे
are
अच्छे
way
चीज
over
बोलना
time.
चाहिए।
So
अच्छे लोगों के
quickly,
साथ
अच्छे
भी, ये
चैनल
भी कह
पे
दीजिए।
अच्छे चीज छुप छुप बोलना
Yeah,
चाहिए।
10 seconds.
In less than 10 seconds, the perception and the reality is that the Prime Minister is the most hard-working, non-corrupt, developmental
Which will be put to test in
politician.
24.
Absolutely, and let the people decide, and many more will follow. And every
Okay.
time they follow, are you
Sure.
going to say BJP ने ये party को तोड़ा है? You cannot.
Okay.
Aspirational politics, and people do back the
Fine.
winning
Sanjay
horse.
Gupta, please, 5 seconds.
हाँ, मुझे लगता है कि उस चुंबक को ढूंढने की जरूरत है जिसके कारण आज सब बीजेपी की तरफ खींचते चले जाते हैं, या बीजेपी वो चुंबक दिखाते कि उनको अपनी तरफ खींच लेती है।
बीजेपी लोहा है, चुंबक आप लोग हो।
आप पहले सोचिए कि आपने क्यों छोड़ा।
Till such time you decide who is Loha and who is magnet. We have run out of time, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. News continues on the other side. Stay.